Thank you for joining us on the program, everyone. Tonight, we sit down with Nigeria's Minister of Youth Development, Comrade Ayodele Olawande, who has pledged to refashion Nigeria's youth agenda under President Tinubu's renewed Hope administration. He was appointed in October last year in a cabinet reshuffle that saw him advance from Minister of State to the substantive Minister of Youth Development, taking over from Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim. From launching a data protection upskilling drive to convening a National Youth Confab, Olawande says he's transforming policy talk into opportunities. But critics question the real impact. Can he truly translate digital training into jobs? Is the Confab more than just a talking shop? And are Nigerians in diaspora really going to head home, as he claimed recently, with many still seeking opportunities outside as we speak? Let's go beyond the headlines. Minister of Youth Development, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Nifemi.
Glad to have you come. Let's start with what's trending. The Super Falcons dinner with Mr. President yesterday stirred quite some reactions, especially around the nearly 4 billion naira cash reward. How do you respond to those questioning this gesture, given the state of the economy?
For me, questioning gesture, in anything you do, even in the religion aspect, in the family aspect, there will be questions, there will be reactions. And whatever you react, you have some people that react negative to it and positive to it. And when you listen to the Super Falcons, they said the president have transformed their life. If you have shown to the country that you are in a service to them, if you have shown your commitment, if you have shown your character, if you have shown the passion, resilience, and all that. And the country said, okay, we are with you, and this is what we have for you. This is what we have to encourage you so that we keep motivating others to get the skills they want, to get what actually is meant for them, to tell the people that say, you have what it takes to be where you are, and you have what it takes to attain whatever you can attain. That even with whatever it is now, you can easily transform yourself and become whatever you want to be. And if there is a support for you, I don't think that has anything to do with the economy. It's a support. It's trying to let any other person in different sector know that whatever tribe you can tribe, there is a backside for you for support. That the country is ready to support the young people and show love to them. And that is what the president has done.
I know you're very active online and you're following reactions. Another real concern is whether this isn't just audio money. You know, we've seen similar promises in the past drag on for years. What's the guarantee that this one won't suffer the same fate?
Renewed hope. We are renewing the hope of everybody. So it will take time. You know, and I've said this time with that number. I know you can still ask me a question and I will still repeat it. I've said, see, for 40 years, unbreaking, the youth of this country have not been able to see the government in any way. They have not been able to touch it. They have not been able to feel it. So when they question things like this, you should know that it's not easy. A 40-year-old grown man, even me that I'm talking to you, I said, okay, something have not happened to me positively before because we are being rude. But now we have a leader, the leader that knows the right from his wrong, that believes that what's in need for the young people of this country, for even everybody in this country, is to renew their hope. So to renew hope is something that you need to put more to. You need to do everything possible to make sure that you've come up with decisions, you come up with things that are not even doubted, that everybody will doubt that can this happen and all that. So it's normal. So for me, that's why I said, I just explained, but again, it's time to renew the hope of the country. So it's renewed hope, it's not an audio. But again, you can ask questions about it as a Nigerian, as a citizen of this country.
We'll touch on that, especially the assumption that young people now feel government more than they did in the past. But beyond the fanfare, what's the broader youth development takeaway here? Are you concerned that as a country, we seem to still have a track record of one-off rewards without necessarily following through on infrastructure or long-term welfare like pensions, health insurance, or post-retirement support?
Well, let me say that to some extent, you must be realistic with yourself. You must be practical with your approach and all that. infrastructural wise, what it is happening. Even anybody that you ask now, they will talk about hardship and all that, this and this and that. But we're saying the president, his leadership is saying, let's find a broad solution to our problems. Don't let us start doing cosmetic that we are used to. Don't let us just come up and say, okay, this is what is the solution. We need to put this down so that this does not affect this or this. Let us face the facts. Don't let us live the life of someone that does not have a clothes, but they give a clothes today, and if they gave him the clothes today, so tomorrow what will happen to the president? Let's find the deepest solution to all the sectors, to all areas. Let's try and reform our systems. And one person cannot do it, but when you have a sustainability in your reforms, when you make sure that you are not thinking about today, you are thinking about the future. It's not about me. Some people, you may not like my face, you may not like what I do, but in as much you put Nigerian first and you put the people first, whatever sustainability we are bringing to it is going to stay and it's going to work.
I like our conversation in this short time to focus on what this government has been able to do in a way that reaches young Nigerians. And I know that you listen perhaps to the outcry and the perception of many young Nigerians in this regard. Let's begin with some of the things you've been up to lately. You recently launched the Youth Data Protection Awareness and Training Program with some fanfare. But let's face the numbers. Over 500,000 data controllers exist in Nigeria. But your training program is training just 5,000 youths. Isn't that a drop in the ocean? What impact does this truly have in a country with over 60 million young people?
I don't know where you get that number from, but if you said over 5,000 exist, with the data we have with data protection 1 year ago, when I realized that we have the NDPC, and I asked our NDPC, and we discovered that even we as a Nigerian, we are not capable to fill in the gaps of the 5,000 that is projected for us to have, because the skills gap is there, the training is there. It's just like when I have a meeting with man, I ask, we are unemployed. What are we going to do? We need to develop, and we discover that the skill gap is high. And so when you bring out this, you must come up with, okay, the fact and figure of these gaps, because the 5,000, we don't even have it. We are just putting on trainees, putting up this data protection unit. That's it. There's a gap in data protection units. It's only out of 10, we only have 2. And we said, okay, what happens to the 8? And if these people were trained properly, they are going to get job. Not only training, not only awareness, but they are going to get job. And that is what we are trying to push out and said, okay, let us even start with the gap we have with the agency. It's not about Ministry of Youth this time around. It's about working with other agencies, parastatals, and MDA to achieve our aims and objectives. Because like I always said, majority of the initiatives of the youth reside in so many other agencies and everywhere. So the best thing is not that you should bring it down to you, is to work with them and see how you can start implementing this in every sector. And that is what we did in data protection unit. That's it. This is a gap that we need to fill. And I don't think there's any difference between communication technology and youth. So the difference is that it's a professional stuff and it's a practical stuff. And developing them, you need to partner and work with them. And that is exactly what we did. So we start from somewhere. It's, by the time a government comes to you and said, I want to create so millions of number, I want to do so, and it's not even achievable. And you will come back to the TV and said, oh, this is what you are doing, this is what, and they will ask a question, you won't be able to answer. So you must be practical. And as we say, that is why we are young people, that is why I'm a youth. I must be real with myself so that even when I live here at my 30s now, so when I'm 40, 50, whatever, I'll be able to point out to all those things that we've said that is real. So for me, the data is very important, and that is what we're working towards.
So you're saying that this program will create job pathways for all trainees. Precisely how many jobs? Yes, I'm getting there.
I won't give you a number because
I'm interested in knowing.
I won't give you a number.
Just how many job placements are expected this quarter? Okay, if you're not giving a number, what's the
the reason why I will not give you a number?
Just a minute.
You know the reason why I will not give you a number?
Just a minute, Minister.
Because you can.
What's the absorption? I'm concerned about the absorption plan for those certified, because it's beyond just certifying trainees. What's the plan to get them engaged?
That's what I'm saying. when you go for the training, when you put in for it, when you learn through this, and you are able to scale through and said, okay, this is the number we have for those that really go this training, have passion for it, because it's two different things. It's just like you're telling that you give somebody compulsory skill development something, and the person is not interested in what you give to him. There will be some set of numbers of people that will be interested. And there's a lot of companies, there's a lot of private sectors and all that in protection, agent protection, even outside the country, that are looking for this. So it depends on the numbers that, okay, these are the social numbers of those that are able to put themselves together in this training. We can train 1 million people, and at the end of the day, we have 100, we have 50, we have 60. So again, we are training, putting it first out, get yourself trained properly, calm down, relax, train, get this to yourself, get a skill, which is important. Even if you have a skill before, upscale it so that the certification is going to be useful for you to get a job for yourself.
So you're saying you don't have an envisioned number as to the number of jobs you foresee
I won't give you a number.
to bring. All right, you've spoken about digital inclusion. What's the plan to really reach marginalized young people, especially those in rural areas without access to power, internet, or even a basic education? Who's being included and who's left behind?
Thank you very much. This has been my major focus, which I was trying as much as possible to drive into. Because as Minister of Youth, I discovered that even you will see a letter being written to you, a memo being written to you, a letter being written to you, and they will tell you that they caused you visit from one local government. And you will ask yourself, and I started pulling it down. And that was one thing that really prompted me when I was Minister of Youth. I sat down with some set of team of people and said, see, because I'm a grassroots person and I know where I'm coming from, it's not about projecting you and you one of those that went to Harvard or whatever. No, I was coming from a local area, from somewhere in a street in Akure, and I know how it is to be a grassroots youth. I know what it takes to come from a grassroots or where it's a commercial places. And I sat down, I went through all the some of the states, not the state capital, but the local government itself. And I discovered that, I can give you an example. When I was in Borno and I went to Chibok and I looked at what is happening there, I see that it's different from what is happening in Adamawa in another local area. I see that it's different from what happens in Kaduna or Kano. What they need is different. Even in the Southwest and in the South-South, more than 28 states. And I asked myself, the most important thing is to work alongside with the state government, because there is no youth in the federal. There is no, the youth in the federal are the youth that works around Abuja and do their basic work, whatever work they are doing in whichever area they are. But the major youth, the large numbers of the constituency that you said we are 70% over, they are much more a former youth. And that is why with me, I classify youth into two, and which the ministry is working on now. The former youth and the informal youth. The informal youth are they are like 50% out of the 70%. While the 20% are the informal youth that you have the records, that you know what they do, and the artisans, the hawkers, those people in the state are the informal youth, which there are many, which as a politician too, and a lot of politicians will not want to listen to this, but that's the truth. The informal youth are those ones that a large numbers of people went back to come and tell them that this is this, this is this, this is that. So how can we bring these formal youths? That is working with the state government. That is very important. And with what the president is doing in local government, and I've made sample of this by going to Akwa Ibom and visiting. I was still having a conversation with the chairman of Governors Forum yesterday at the airport, and we had some agreement on this, and Governor of Imo State. And we said, see, it is time to revisit the Ministry of Youth Development in all states, because the youths are residing in those states. The youth are residing in that local government. Let us go back to skills training. Let us tell them with the programs the president launched in Abuja, the Nigerian Youth Academy, that we have a digital skills, and let's have a greenhouse. And kudos to the governor of Akwa Ibom State. He agrees, and we are working on it. We promise in the next 3-4 months, we're having a youth-friendly center in all the 31 local government areas, so that You will come there. We will work with NDE. We will work with ITF. We will work with Mildan. We will work with Naseni to start training.
Allow me to butt in.
Training.
Minister, time is ticking really, because this administration has done more than 2 years now. And it matters the time frame within which all of this vision and intention are accomplished for young Nigerians.
It is continuous.
But we're going to talk. We're going to talk about.
But we said about 2 years.
We're going to talk more about that briefly. Let's go on a short break, and we'll be back to this conversation. Stay with us, everyone.
Thank you.
Comrade Olawande, thank you for staying the course on the program. Minister of Youth Development is talking to us about his plans and what has been achieved since he took that appointment, I believe, in October last year. In your words, Minister, and this is very interesting because you recently said Nigerians abroad will soon be rushing back home because of Mr. President's reforms. Precisely, how do you justify that statement? Where's the data backing your optimism?
Okay, I know a lot of people criticize me about that. I have a lot of, like you said, I'm a social media person. I'm always on my handle. I receive every message and whatever that I get from it. But what I'm saying is this, and I need to make it clear again, that it is clear that when you have a leadership that was projecting a reform in some major sector, economy, the only problem we have is because our economy is not balanced. And again, the manpower is low. The job creation is not there. There is no investor to bring jobs into the city and all that. And the question is, what are we doing over there in overseas? What are people going to do? It's because there is an enable environment for them to thrive. And if a government provides, if a leadership provides an enable environment to thrive in this country, I said, normal person will prefer to be in his country and enjoy his freedom because he have a work to do, he find a way to go, he has protection like what we are doing in Ministry of Youth now, that the youth development is being focused on just three parts: to support the youth, to empower the youth, not the token, not the cosmetic empowerment, but to empower the youth productively in human capital building, and also to protect the youth. When you have those three arms and you have a government that is thinking day and night, you have a president that is not thinking about family, is not thinking about growth of anything personal, is thinking about Nigeria and working with passion to create an environment.
I hear you, Minister.
For everybody in the country to thrive.
I hear you, Minister.
When you are thriving,
yes,
positively.
But allow me to jump in. You know that Jackpot isn't just about money. It's about meaning.
And and I've said this.
Many young Nigerians, Minister, say that. Just a minute. Many young Nigerians say they don't feel safe, sane, or valued. I'm wondering precisely what your ministry is doing beyond speeches to rebuild their trust, not just in government, not just in this administration, but in this country.
What I'm saying is this. I'm not saying you don't have your own opinions or view to Japa. Fine. If you have an opportunity to go and learn, put 1, 2 things together and come back to the country, I will not be part of those that say you shouldn't go. You need to go and learn also if you know that you have other things. What the ministry is doing is to engage properly and tell you the reason why we need to come together in the country. Look at what we have, the development, to support, protect the young people. And that is why I have a youth help desk now, that you can communicate to me. We can talk. We can listen to you as a Nigerian youth, not the time that the government is far away from the youth. We are bringing the youth back to the government, closer to the government. So you have, and that even the protection, the data protection, this thing that we launch is all about. And so we say, okay, we have a desk that you can talk to. Let me give you an example. You said, what are the ministry doing? Well, let me give you an example. We have a guy, a young boy, practically young boy that everybody is fighting for. A lot of people will say, what happened to Mohbad? What happened to Mohbad? For me, in my own opinion, if Mohbad have seen somebody to talk to, listen to, hear the voice without even any interaction, without nobody knows where you get your data from, today it may not happen. The guy might be living his life very beautifully well, wherever it is now. But again, it happens to him because there is a communication gap. And that is why I'm trying everything possible first to protect the young people, to bridge the communication gap, even with the police, even with the army, even with whatever institution the government have, that the youth have problem with. And that is why we should work irrespective of political party. And I'm off now. I'm a APC and I'm APC, not that I'm AB. But now it is about Nigeria. It's about the youth first.
I hear you.
The youth should see me
Let
as
me
a
follow up quickly on
this spokesperson.
On this communication gap. Perhaps we want to talk more about this help desk, because I've heard some young people, even members of your party, say that you have not been as accessible as you were before you became minister.
No, that's not correct. I use my line, I reply my message. My office, I have a slogan in my office: no protocol. And you don't need to get an appointment before you see me. I left the office on a daily basis by sometime 9 p.m. So I think I've gotten to 10 before, but not so long. But I left at 9 p.m. and I'm there. I'm ready to attend. I'm ready to listen to you. Bring your initiative. I'm the most accessible. The minister does not enter my head. I worked myself. I did everything I want to do myself. I walk on the street. I talk to you. I'm also a young man, and I want to leave a legacy. So I'm accessible.
Maybe it's
for political reasons.
Let us talk about the National Youth Confab, because Mr. President projected a February 2025 timeline. I know that a digital portal was opened last month, but where are we now, 4 months after that timeline?
Okay, good. You know, like I said, I believe that what's doing well, what's doing best is what's doing well, or what's doing well is what's doing best. It is a confab that, to me, left to me, the first question you asked about is how we're going to reach out to the grassroots. As a man, I've attended like 2-3 confabs, and I know bringing down the youth demography are the most expensive demography that you can ever tour with, because we don't even know our leaders. We don't have a leadership. That's the truth. We have different leaders, but we don't have a particular one that we said, this is where we stick to. Today I can be Ayo, tomorrow you can be VDM, tomorrow you can be Dijade, tomorrow you can be all these my bones. You can be them. So for me, I believe that going back to the grassroots, also engage with the grassroots within the 30 days we have is very important. So we go on consultation. After consultation, all things are being set. We are just to press the green button so that this 30 days is going to be a fantastic 30 days whereby you engage in the grassroots, you engage in the zonal level. After engaging in the zonal level, we put everything together, and not just only the 30 days. We want to go beyond the 30 days and make sure that we have a response in the executive. We have a response where I am as a Minister of Youth. I have a response in executive, we have a response in judiciary, and you also have a response in the National Assembly. And that is why everything we are doing is on constitutional basis, institutional basis, whereby everybody have their role that they want to play. We are just to press the green button. Anytime from now, we've also, in this last week, inaugurated the vocal propos, which the Commissioner of Youth as a co-chairman with non-political actors. It's not APC confab. And I've said this, and I've also said this. You don't need to know me before you participate in this confab. I don't want to know yourself. I don't want to know anybody. It's about Nigerian youth, and we're being transparent about it.
Just some specifics. Precisely when will this confab hold? And what do you consider the unique feature that would make this another overhyped consultation exercise with no bite like the ones we've seen in the past? In a minute, if you can.
Because we want to engage Nigerian youth to reshape the national development agenda. Because we want to create a platform of inclusive dialogue with the young people. We also want to identify the priority buildings of nations collectively, solution, not just what somebody just sit down in his room and tell us. We want to know what exactly is happening in your constituency, not just what is happening in Abuja or what you bring from a paper or template. We want to make sure that we put all these things together, present it to Mr. President, because he's a listening president, because he can get a lot of things done with his decisions. Because whatever decisions we said Mr. President should make for us, we have the national assemblies that are super that can get this done for us and make sure that they act in this and this work for us. We have the judiciary that we can talk to. And the specific time is a time that is very close.
All right.
which I'm trying as much as possible to be political about that, not to mention the date for you.
Good place to leave it. You know,
but I know very soon. The way you have the platform, the way you have the platform launched, the way you have, we do the LOC, and very soon, LOC is the final stage. Very soon, very, very soon. We just a tip to press the green button to get it done.
We have completely run out of time. I think we should have this conversation more often. I'm surprised it's your first time on this show. Hopefully, we can get you to come back because there's a lot to talk about. Comrade Ayodele Olawande
no problem. I'm here for you.
Of youth development. Well, we're going to.
It's all about youth.
Thank you so much for coming and for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's our show, everyone. Remember, you can watch it again at midnight and 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.